All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to talk about something that could seriously change how you look at your money. We're breaking down 5 specific kinds of income that, believe it or not, you don't have to pay taxes on. So, let me ask you a question. Imagine a big chunk of cash lands in your bank account this year. Your first thought is probably yes, right? But your second thought is almost definitely, oh no, how much of this is Uncle Sam going to take? It's a fair question, but the answer, well, it might actually surprise you. It's not always a given. So here's the game plan. We'll start with that big tax-free question. Then we'll get into money from family situations. And after that, surprise money and gifts. We'll even look at a really cool way communities save money. And then, of course, we'll wrap it all up with what you really need to know. All right, first section, life and family funds. These are situations a lot of us face, but the tax rules, yeah, they can be a little counterintuitive. Okay, so our first one is life insurance payouts. This is a big one, and it often comes at a really tough time for a family. And the rule here is actually super straightforward. If you're the beneficiary on a policy, that money you get, generally, it's not considered taxable income. Simple as that. You don't have to report it, you don't have to worry about the IRS taking a slice. The whole point is to help you out, not to add a tax bill to your worries. Okay, next up, number 2. This is something that affects so many families. We're talking about child support payments. So why isn't this taxed? Well, it all comes down to what the money is for. Child support isn't a salary for the parent, right? It's money meant specifically for taking care of a kid. The IRS gets that. They see it as money being passed through for the child's benefit, not as personal income for the parent who receives it. All right, let's switch gears. What about that surprise money? The windfalls and gifts. This is the stuff that just kind of pops into your life when you're not expecting it. Okay, number 3 on our list is personal injury settlements. Definitely a serious topic, but the tax rules are pretty clear-cut here. You know, the logic here is a lot like the child support rule. It's all about the why. If you get a settlement for a physical injury, that money isn't a bonus. It's meant to compensate you for something you lost. It's to help you get back on your feet, not to be a source of profit. And that's exactly why the IRS generally stays out of it. And here we go, number 4. This one causes so much confusion for so many people every single year. We're talking about getting a gift of money. Okay, pay close attention because this is the number 1 rule you need to remember about gifts. The tax headache, it's not on you, the person getting the money. It's on the giver. Let me say that again. If someone gives you cash, whether it's $5,000 or $50,000, you typically don't have to do a thing. You don't report it as income. It's the person who gave you the money who might have to file a gift tax return, but only if they go over a certain amount for the year. All right, our last category is one you may have never even heard of, but it's super interesting and really important in a lot of communities. Let's dive into community savings. We're talking about informal savings clubs. They go by different names all over the world, but they're a huge financial tool. A great example is in the Haitian community, where it's known as a SOL. So, how do these actually work? It's pretty simple, really. Imagine a group of people. Everyone agrees to chip in, say, $100 every month. Each month, one person in the group gets the entire pot of money. Then the next month, a different person gets it, and it just keeps rotating until everybody's had their turn. Now, here's the key, the reason it's not taxed. When you get that big payout, it's not profit. It's literally just your own money coming back to you in one big lump sum. That's it. And I gotta be super clear about this. What we've talked about today, this isn't some shady loophole or some clever way to cheat the system. Not at all. These are the actual rules, written down in black and white in official IRS documents. It all just comes down to knowing how things actually work. Okay, so let's tie this all together. What's the big takeaway here? What do you absolutely need to remember from all this as you think about your finances? Let's run through them one last time, the 5 big ones: life insurance payouts, child support payments, personal injury settlements, money you get as a gift, and those payouts from a community savings club. All 5 of these, generally not taxable income for you. Look, at the end of the day, just knowing the rules of the game is a huge part of financial empowerment. It stops you from paying more in taxes than you need to, and it just helps you make better choices, period. So that leaves me with one final question for you. Now that you know about these 5 things, what other financial rules have you just accepted that might actually be holding you back? Something to chew on. Thanks for tuning in.